What event made you see your dad in a whole new light? My dad and I used to sit across from each other, eating like two strangers who got stuck at the same table. Our dinners were always quiet, the kind of quiet where forks scraped against plates and you chewed slower just to fill the silence. He wasn't a bad dad. He made sure I had clean clothes and a packed lunch. He worked insane hours as a financial advisor so I wouldn't have to worry about college costs. But when it came to having natural conversations and a bond, there was a wall between us. I never knew what to say and it was obvious he didn't know either. Sometimes he'd ask how school was and I'd say, "Good," because that's what I had always said. And that was as far as our conversations went. It got even worse over time because I started noticing how my friends talked about their dads. They didn't say things like "he picked me up." Instead, it was, "My dad and I watched the game together," or "he helped me fix my bike," or "he told me about this dumb thing he did when he was my age." I never got those stories. My breaking point though was what happened over winter break. I got a hoodie I'd been hinting at for weeks, and when he handed it to me he just nodded, sat back down and kept watching TV. I said, "Thanks," and he smiled. But there was nothing else. Just gift, nod, sit, silence. That's when I realized how badly I wanted more from him. I wanted to have the kind of father-son relationship I could brag about, talk about how good my dad is, or play catch at the park. I wondered for weeks how I could get closer to him, but starting a conversation with him had always been tough. I even had to ask Google how I could form a bond with my dad, and when I saw that I had to talk about his interests, a light bulb lit inside me. My dad's biggest interest was his job as a financial advisor. He loves his job. He doesn't just view it as a chore, even if he has to put in extra hours to take care of me by himself. I thought, if I'm learning something he knows everything about, maybe we'd actually have something to talk about. So, I decided I was going to learn about finance for the first time. I researched a lot about it over the weeks, but I wasn't retaining any information. All of it was too complicated and I didn't even know where to begin. And whenever I looked at my dad, I just saw the gap between us getting bigger. I felt so hopeless and lonely. I just wanted my dad to love me. It wasn't until I was talking to my friend about my problems that I got an answer that changed my life. He said I should download an app made to make investing easy. He showed me the one he used and when I hit download on the App Store, it honestly felt like a Hail Mary, which is why I didn't tell my dad I was doing this. And if it did work, I was planning on surprising him. Once I made my account, I was surprised how easy and fun the beginner lessons were. For the first time, I was understanding how investing worked and I could also invest on the app. I just needed $1. As the days passed I got more confident and then the day to surprise my dad came. At dinner I asked him, if you had to pick one stock to buy today, what would it be? He looked up, confused because I had never talked about finance to him before, but it quickly changed to surprise. Then he smiled. That one question cracked something open. He didn't just answer. He lit up. He started explaining things to me, but not in a let me lecture you kind of way. More like we were equals. Like he was excited I was finally stepping into something he cared about. I showed him the app, and he understood it immediately. He even said it was solid. But what I think he liked most was that I wanted to share it with him. Things quickly changed after that. We started talking more at dinner. Whenever he asked me about my day, I didn't answer with one-word responses anymore. I talked to him about the crazy things my friends did or what I was going through. I must have talked his ear off but he was listening so intently. I could literally see the bridge between us closing. And then, it wasn't just dinner conversations anymore. He started blocking off weekends so that we could hang out. We ended up going to the farmer's market together one Saturday. We went to the park every other Sunday to walk and talk or play a game of catch. And one day he surprised me with tickets to this finance expo, which is something he never would have done before because he'd be working through the weekend. That's another thing. He's not working insane hours anymore. The crazy part is, he told me that watching me invest and grow my portfolio gave him a wake-up call. He realized he didn't need to work long hours because if I continued on a good trajectory, I could afford to pay my own college tuition by the time I turned 18. I was so happy he was that confident in me, and I had never seen him look so proud. He even joked that he was glad I was following in his footsteps. Things honestly kept changing for the better. He scaled back on extra clients. We talk more. We do more. We went camping for the first time in years. He lets himself be goofy. I've never seen him laugh the way he did the night I showed him my first investment gain. But it's not just about money. It's about him finally looking up and realizing I'm here. And me realizing he never stopped loving me. He just didn't know how to show it. But now that I have this investing knowledge, I know I never have to worry about that ever again. Edit. A lot of you are saying that my dad makes less money because of me, which is fair. But hear me out. I'm basically his retirement plan now since I've been investing on Bloom Learn to Invest.